Alright guys, my name is Aditya and welcome back to Brainstorm Codings. In this video, I want to talk to you about the methods in Golang. So the methods in Golang are quite similar to the functions, but only one difference. The method contains a receiver argument. So with the help of this receiver argument, we can access the properties of the receiver. And the receiver can be of a struct type or it can be of a non-struct type. So let me create a method which has a receiver argument of struct type. So for that we have to create a structure. So this is the author structure. So the author has a first name, it has a last name, it has an age, and it has a gender. So let's create a method now, and we create methods using the func keyword just like we create functions. And the name of the method will be show because I want to show all the properties of this author structure, but with only one difference, that it will have the receiver argument. So we will have parentheses inside which we will have a receiver argument. The name of the receiver argument will be A, and the type of the receiver argument will be author, which is this structure over here. Now let's use the println function to print the first name of the author. Let's print the last name. Let's have the age. And the last one is the gender of the author. Alright, now we want to use this method, or we want to call this method inside the main function. So first we will initialize all the values of this author structure. So let me declare this variable to initialize all the values of author structure. So the first name will be Aditya, which is my name. The last name is Karatkar. My age is 20 and gender is male. Now I want to call this method, and we know that this method contains a receiver argument, and I want to use this res variable as a receiver argument. So I will use this res variable, then the period operator, and then the name of the method. This is how you call a method inside the main function. Now if I run this code, I get to see the first name is Aditya, the last name is Karatkar, the age is 20, and the gender is male. So this is how you create a method which contains a receiver argument of struct type. Now let's create a method which contains a receiver argument of non-struct type. So for that we don't need this author structure. So I will have a custom type. The name of the type will be data, and it will be of integer data type. Now the receiver argument will be d1 of this type data, and it will also have an argument again of type data. Now I want to create a method which adds this receiver argument with this argument over here. And this method will again have the return type of data. So I want to return the addition of the receiver argument and the argument. D1 plus D2, that's it. Let's declare the data1 variable. So the first variable will hold the value 23, and just because we are using this custom data type, data which is of integer type, we have to do this in this way. So data2 variable will hold the value 25, and we know that this method has a return type, so we have to declare a variable, then we will assign the method call. So this d1 over here is a receiver argument, and I want to use this data1 variable as a receiver argument. So I will first use this one, then the period operator, then the name of the method, and this method also contains a parameter, so we have to pass the parameter, and the parameter will be this data2 variable. So I will pass it inside the parentheses. Let's print the result. And we have 48, which is the addition of 23 and 25. So this is how you create a method which contains a receiver argument of non-struct type. And a method also has a receiver argument of pointer. So let me first create a structure, again author, so the author will have a name and it has a branch. So let's take a language, his favorite language. So now I want to create a method which has a receiver argument of pointer variable, and it changes the language, the favorite language of the author. So it won't have a return type, it will have a parameter which will be a lang, because we're using the first letter of author, so this is a lang, and it will be of string data type, and it has a receiver argument of pointer variable, so it will be lang. Let's use this dereferencing operator, and this is the structure we have. Now let's change the language and assign it to this a lang parameter. Now let's initialize the values of this author structure. So we have this res variable, so the name is Brainstorm Codings, and the language is Python. Let's see the language before calling the method. Now let's call the method. So first we have to create a pointer variable, because the method is gonna have a receiver argument which is of the pointer variable. So let's create this pointer variable which will hold the memory address of this res variable. Now let's use this variable p, the pointer variable, as a receiver argument. Then the name of the method, and the method also contains a parameter, so which will be Golang. So we have this parameter alang which is of string type, that's why we have passed a string Golang. Now let's copy this print line function, paste it here, and this will say the language after calling the method. Let's run this code. So the language before calling the method was Python. So the favorite language of this channel or the author of this channel was Python, and now after calling the method it's Golang. So this is how you can create a method which contains a receiver argument of pointer, and you can create a pointer variable which will hold the memory address of this res variable, and you can use this pointer variable as a receiver argument, then the period operator, then the name of the method, and you can pass this string Golang or any of the languages you want to have to change this language property. So that's all about methods in this video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.